Welcome. Um, I I was just thinking today about a post that I wanted to do. Um, I taught my first online yoga class ever last week on Wednesday, and I was super excited. I was like, "Yay, online yoga!" And I was really excited that I got together with my group, who's usually gathering on Wednesday nights, and we had the opportunity to still practice even though we weren't able to meet. And it was really beautiful. And then I did it again this week. And I have to say that as much as I appreciate the opportunities that we get through online meetings, for me, it has nothing to do with being in a room with people. And I realized today, again, when I taught the pregnancy yoga class online, that I really miss to get to be in the presence of other people. And there is so much that happens through verbal and especially nonverbal communication. There is such a richness in the interaction. That I really realize how much, like, now it starts that I really feel like I suffer. um, I personally only started last Sunday to really fully retreat, um, and not meet people. And it's a week now. Oh, not even 5 days. Bless you, Pascal. And I realize it's like in Vipassana, when I go to Vipassana and I do Vipassana retreat, which is 10 days. It's got a set frame, so my mind can focus on being in that set frame and always knows where I am in the set frame, and there is an end where I know, okay, from then on I go back into the world and have my regular interactions. And so the interesting experience in this current reality for me is that I don't know where the end is. And no matter how many days and hours I have sat on the meditation cushion, I realize if I close my eyes and look inside, I can totally see and observe my mind bouncing off the walls of myself and my surrounding. Not knowing where the end is wow, what an experience. So I guess it's a huge opportunity to dive into really experiencing and owning uncertainty, and really experiencing and owning how what I have taken for granted, free movement, freedom to meet, the freedom to meet my tribe and practice, boom, suddenly taken away like this. Wow, what a practice. And I guess this is where the practice starts. So yoga is my medicine. This is why we gather today. So with all of what's being said, I think I want to tell you that I guess we're all in the same boat, and we all go through the same spectrum of emotions, from joy to, wow, this is cool, opportunity, to fuck, powerlessness. And we are riding the waves from one to the other. So what are we going to do with it? So here we are gathering online, and we want to share. We want to share the practice with you, the practice that we have in our own house, the practice that we try to keep up these days. And I think I want to start before we really move together and really go into a practice. I want to share one of the most powerful practices of this time right now is actually kindness. Kindness to myself. I think that's the most important. And there are so many moments throughout the day where I can't stick to my ambitious plan. I always have ambitious plans every day. And I can't stick to it. The kids, the household, being after Leah doing her school tasks, making sure that food's in the house, making sure the kids go outside as much as possible to really disperse the energy. And then often in the night, I'm like, wow, the things that I wanted to do don't get done. So kindness. What's my practice of kindness? Kindness is, I place my hand on my heart and I soften my grip. And maybe we want to start the practice together like this. I place my hand on my heart. So see if you can find a comfortable seat. Place your hand on your heart. Placing your hand on your heart, and then see if you can really soften the surface of your hand and allow it to melt into your heart space. And with having this power towards yourself, can you transmit through this touch that it's okay? Whatever is done today and whatever is being left undone, your worthiness is not on the table. To embrace yourself with kindness, with all the small successes and all the failures. I meet myself with kindness. And as you have your hand on your heart and it's softened and it melts, can you allow your eyeballs to soften into the eye sockets? Can you allow your skull to soften? Your hair, your shoulders dropping away from your ears. To pat and stroke and brush over your heart space and hold it with gentle hands. I meet myself with kindness. And then you can slowly open your eyes and just brush down from your heart. These days I realize, especially as so many things that I'm doing are so new, gosh, so new. To deal with Zoom, I'm like totally a newbie. and YouTube, like I'm so glad. I have so much gratitude for Pascal being such a technical geek. I realize that especially when I touch new things, also such as being in this experience now where I, meet so many changes, so many new things, to meet myself with kindness. And the more I meet myself with kindness, I can step into these very full and very intense days of our family life, being together 24/7. And as I meet myself with kindness, I can meet my family members with kindness. And this is where yoga is the medicine, which does not only happen on the yoga mat, but it happens. It happens in between the dishwasher and the mathematical equations. that Leah has to do now. And Finja sitting next to her and helping. So meet yourself with kindness. If you do your practice, if you don't do your practice, if you do your meditation, if you don't manage, if you read this book or write this book or whatever you're doing, meet yourself with kindness. Yoga is my medicine. Yeah, here you are. This is our little microphone.
Good. So wonderful evening. I was just sending out the new link because we messed up the live stream from the original link. So for those of you who are here, welcome. And for those of you who will probably make it tomorrow, see this video later, sorry.
Yeah, I just spoke about kindness. Especially for me, is kindness in dealing with the technical challenges of being an online yoga teacher now. I realized that most of my training was about aligning bones and muscles and aligning the mind from the small self to the larger self. There was nothing about YouTube and Facebook and Zoom and newsletters. So thank you.
You're welcome. One of the things that we want to do tonight is share some of the techniques that we explored in the last 10 years that we think are very helpful in these times of change, of transformation, and sometimes also of chaos. And chaos can be something that is quite intimidating. It can be something that makes you freeze, makes you something that it's something that makes you don't want to move. So before we start with our first movement, I want you to write down, really write it down. Maybe you take note in your phone, or better do it on a piece of paper. One thing you are grateful for. And we're not going to continue until you have written it down. So take a moment, one thing you are grateful for. Because gratitude is one of the things that brings us back into presence. It's one of the things that helps us to get back to where we are now. So one thing that you are grateful now. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for... Okay, so this is, it's weird, but this is really true. We have this little bridge behind our house, and it goes a little bit downhill. It's not too steep and not too much, but it goes downhill. And I'm very grateful for this little hill because every day we go outside. Finja takes her little walking bicycle, and the joy that that bursts out of her when she goes down that little hill, it just makes my heart sing and expand. I'm so joyful for this hill.
Awesome.
What are you joyful? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for the health of my family. You are healthy, the kids are healthy. That's, I think, key. Found something? So write it down. And then next one, we want to take it into action, because I feel gratitude very often in the yogic world. Gratitude is something that we take for granted. It's something, yeah, I'm grateful for. Maybe it makes me feel better, but it doesn't lead to action. Gratitude does not necessarily need to action. So we want to take this into action. So pick up your phone and send a message to someone you are grateful for now. One person, and it can just be, thank you for being there. Thank you maybe for a good conversation you had with someone today. Maybe it's your parents that you're not able to see at the moment because they are in quarantine. Maybe it's a colleague from work. Whatever it is, make it quick, make it short. The important part is that you do it. So taking gratitude into action is sending a letter or a note of appreciation. So send one note of appreciation to someone that is very close to your heart. We're waiting. So you actually have to do it. It's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to actually do it. So I have this little, I started working in a clinic, and it's a clinic for drug addicts, so a rehab clinic for drug addicts. And I design movement programs to get them back into their body, into awareness, into mindfulness, and just back into a healthy body and lifestyle. And I made a commitment that every day it's 20-minute ride to work, every day in the car, every day when I'm in the car, either on the way there or on the way back, I call someone. And the rule is it cannot be a business call. So it's not about business. It has to be someone that I'm just checking in. Or maybe that I just call to say, thank you. Good that you're here. So that's my little, where I take this into action, is my way to work. Rather than just listening to the radio or just listening to a podcast or music, I make it a point to say thank you every morning or afternoon when I come back, to call someone. Not send a text, actually call someone. And that makes it 5 people a week that I randomly call and say, thank you, good you're here. Who would you call now?
Who would I call now? Ale. I would call Ale. I'm so grateful she's in my life. She's always such a sparkling memory.
So in this first chapter of gratitude, again, make sure you take gratitude into action. Make sure you send out that note. And we want to take you through pranayama exercise, because I believe and think that pranayama is one of the key elements to connect to the gratitude, but also to presence. Just breath brings you back into presence. You want to share your favorite pranayama exercise?
I want to share my favorite pranayama exercise. So you want to join?
Yeah.
We need a timer. Can you get a timer?
Sure.
So this is really important to do it with a timer. And it brings me back to today. And I was like, I think my main thought today was, okay, can we go back to normal? Like I was really like, whew, that was great. So let's, I'm ready for change. And I realized in this pranayama, this thought comes up fairly quick. And we're setting the timer because we want to experience, and we will do it with you, that there is, even when the mind and more reigns. So
I just got a message of gratitude, so thank you, Lisa.
Oh, okay. So we have just a little bit more space in between us. Okay. So you really need to sit comfortably. That's the most important. Do you want a block or something? Because you do not want to worry about your back. You will worry about many other things, but don't worry about your hips and your back, okay? Okay, I think I'm going to take a block too. Okay, ready? Take your arms up.
You want me to time this?
You need to time this and put 2.5 minutes.
Holy shit.
So take your arms up. And then just allow them to fall down. So your upper arms, have this impact on your side ribs, okay? So take your arms up. No, not yet. Just arms up and impact on the side ribs. Okay, so as you do that, you want to exhale through the mouth, through the nose, with like quite some determination, okay? Through the nose. And we do it together. And time is running. So the cool thing about this exercise is that you start it and you're like, okay, cool. That's, it really feels good. It opens up my lungs. It gives me quite some energy. And you can really use it to let go of all of this stuck energy and whatever emotion has been stuck in your body today or the last week, like really get it out. And with every new inhale, you can reach for a new thought, a new feeling. And allow yourself to ground with your hips and allow the legs to be really soft. interesting thing is that after a while, like latest by now, you're like, okay, I'm done. Can we stop this? And no, we cannot. We'll continue. And what I'd like for you to pay attention to is how your shoulders start to burn and the space in between your shoulders and your neck. And that this sensation is telling you to, okay, I'm done. Can we just stop? And the question is, what happens in this area when you continue? Like, where and how does transformation take place? And you continue to exhale, and you continue to allow the sensation in your shoulders to transform. Because the burning might turn into a tickling, might turn into feeling quite lame, and the whole movement slowly starts to slow down, and your arms just can't reach up anymore. You're just like, I'm totally fucking done with this.
20 seconds.
20 seconds to go, and I can totally tell you that you can do it till the end, because we're doing it right with you. Continue. The last 10. Come on, we can do this. The last 10, all the way up and all the way up. And really like, ooh, and that was it. Allow the arms to soften. Allow the arms to soften. This is the most important part. Allow the arms to soften. Close your eyes. And then I'd like you to pay attention to your breathing. Where's your breathing? And how does it feel? This burning sensation that told you to please stop. How does it feel now? How does this transformed physical feeling and emotional feeling surface now in your perception? And just enjoy the flow from the neck all the way down to the shoulders, arms, hands. Allow it to awaken you to the present moment, into the sensations of your body, your breath. This is the here and the now. There is no other reality available to you. Beautiful. And then you can slowly open your eyes again. How are you feeling?
Good. Already sore.
Refreshed. Refreshed.
Awesome.
Awake. Yeah. Super.
Almost a little bit dizzy.
Yay.
So that was one practice for gratitude and coming back into the present moment. The second part we want to look at is taking action. So what is something in your life that brings you joy? Seems like a very simple question, but can be very hard when it's about implementing it in your daily life. So there are, I call them initiators of joy that are external, like you walk on the street, someone does something funny, your kid throws a joke or does something funny and you start laughing. Joy comes up, bubbles out, because you see something, you hear something, you feel something, but it's from the outside. So the question, what brings you joy, is the second part of joy, which comes from the inside. And if you lack that part of joy, the other one wears out pretty quick. So you need both of them. You need the people in your life that bring you joy, that throw joy at you, that make you laugh, that make you smile, that make you dance, but you also need that joy that is independent, that comes from the inside out. Like when you go for a walk in the forest, when you read a good book that really excites you, when you do something for you. And I love a quote that says, real wellness or real joy shows up in your calendar, which means you have it written down. You have blocked time for something that brings you joy. Maybe that's your yoga class, maybe that's your meeting with friends, maybe that is your phone call with the family, that's spending time with your kids or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, but it shows up somewhere. It's something where you dedicate time to. So this is the question again. Write it down. Something that brings you joy. Go.
Something that brings me joy. Wow, there are so many things. But really, like this, where I feel really joyful is actually doing sauna. Like sauna is the absolute well-being, joyful release, being myself. Yeah, that's like.
So that's the first part of the question. What brings you joy? Sauna.
And dance. Oh my God. Dance.
So sauna and dance, maybe a dance in the sauna. Now the second part of the question, does it show up in your calendar?
In my usual life, yes. Right now, saunas are closed. Like usual life, yes. Mm-hmm. For sure.
So, step one, identify what brings you joy. For Julia, it's sauna. For me, it's movement. If I move, I'm a better person. That's just a fact. Step number two, ask yourself, does it show up in your calendar? Do you have block time, a week or a day, ideally, that you dedicate to that purpose? Sauna, movement. If not, see if you can find that time slot in your calendar so you get to do the things that bring you joy and you are not independent on your best other side, on your colleagues, of someone else to bring joy to you. They will still do it if you surround yourself with good people, which is incredibly important to have that flock of supporters and cheerleaders that help you. But you need that source of joy in your own space and time. So take a moment to write it down. What brings me joy? Where can I put it in the calendar? Or just note, shit, it's not yet in the calendar. I'll have to look at it. Because at the moment, I don't have movement scheduled out in my calendar. I'll be very honest. I do it every day, but it's not, most of it is not from myself, but it's doing it for someone, with someone, and that is very different than really dedicating time only for yourself. Okay, and I want to show you one or two movements, or two movements combined, that I think are really great to get moving, to get into action. So when I feel stuck, especially in my lower back or in my hips, these are two great movements that I think get you active really quick. So stand up. And we're going to do, since Julia started with the timing, we're going to do something similar. We're going to do 20 repetitions. And it's a very simple movement. Feet are a bit wider than hip distance apart, heels slightly in. So heels a little bit in, like your comfortable squatting position. Grab your big toes with your fingers, and then you're going to come into a forward fold, and then you're going to come into a squat, looking forward. Exhale, you come into your forward fold. Extend the legs as far as you can. Don't have to be straight. Inhaling into squat. That was 2. Inhale, coming back up. Getting a little bit more mobile, a little bit more active. More connected each time you go. As you squat down, see if you can actively drive the knees out. If you have to adjust the feet, adjust the feet. Allow yourself to really drop your head and round your spine on the exhalation. On the inhalation, do the opposite, opening the chest broad and straight. Exhaling, this is your passive movement. Inhale, being active and open. Exhaling, forward fold. 5 more. If this is too deep, just go halfway. Don't have to go all the way as to the ground. You can be halfway in your squat. Last 3. Last 1. Forward fold. And squat. Stay in your squat for a second and bring the arms forward and the shoulders back. Open chest. Stay here for a moment. Roll your neck. Make sure it's free. And then bring your right hand to your left ankle. Again, if this is too much, just support your heels so you're on your toes, or come a little bit back up. On your next inhalation, bring the left arm up towards the sky. Exhaling, coming back down towards the ankle. Other side, right arm up and back. Left side, open and close. Right side, open and back down. 2 more on each side. Warming up the spine, the hip, the shoulder. Last one to your right. And slowly come into that hero pose, sitting back down. Whee! Thighs are warm. Take a deep breath in. Full exhale out. So that was getting to action. Again, make sure you schedule time for joy, for things that you're passionate about, that bring you joy, and mark it out in your calendar. Next, we want to dive into support. And again, support is something that we found to be essential for finding joy. And whenever I feel myself not asking for support, asking for help, or leaning into support, just feels lonely. And whenever you feel lonely, you feel lost, and it comes with a whole bag of emotions that are not helping to find joy. So asking for support and leaning into support is something incredibly important.
I really like there is a section in the Nonviolent Communication book from Marshall Rosenberg, and he speaks about the attitude that we bring when we ask for support. And for me, that was a total game changer. And he says, when you ask for help, don't feel guilty for it and make this big thing out of it, but he says, have a Santa Claus attitude when asking for support. And it's like you're Santa Claus bringing a gift to another person that they have the opportunity to help you. Wow. I was just like, wow, to just go and say, like, I would really like, with this like straight upward spine, and like I have to do this now every day. I really need your support to so I can step on the yoga mat and do what I need to do in order to show up full for this reality. And I guess especially having a family and having this interconnectedness with kids. It's just so often, I think this is the biggest learning of the past years, is asking for support and asking for help with a Santa Claus attitude. You have the opportunity. You have this opportunity. And a lot of times people are really happy to help. They really are. And asking for support.
So who's your Santa Claus? Again, write it down. Write one person down that you are excited and maybe a little bit afraid of asking for help. Because if there is that feeling of, oh, I'm not sure, it's really a conversation you should have. If it's just very easy to ask for support, look for someone else. Look for someone that challenges you. Something where you're like, I'm not sure if I can really ask for support in that area. Maybe it's in your work, in your family, in your relationship. But write one person down where you're like, shit, should have asked this person a long time ago for some support. And then seek out those challenging conversations, because most of the time they turn out to be very, very beautiful and helpful. Asking for support. With support, we want to move into some of our favorite inversion. Since you are at home, you might not have a spotter. So we want to show you our favorite inversions that you can do without a spotter. So they are safe, but still fun, and we're going to move slowly from the ground up. So anytime you feel you need to rest, just take a break and rest. Easiest inversion for me is this one. Looks a bit funny, but it's a really fun one. It's almost like a forearm stand. It's like a forearm stand meets crow. And they have a little baby, which is forearm crow. I don't know. It looks like this. Forearms on the ground. I'm going to come up, and then I want to bring, this would be crow, but I want to bring the forearms on the ground, which gives me a lot more support and less tension on my wrist. And then I'm going to lean forward. My nose is not touching the ground, and I'm just hanging out here. My toes are free, head is free, and I'm hanging out like a very low crow. Give it a try. So I'll talk you through it. You want to try? Forearms on the ground. As high up into your armpits as possible. Look slightly in front of your fingers, and then see if you can find a moment of balance where your feet are not touching and your head is not touching. If you lose the balance forward, you can just bring your forehead to the ground. So this could also be a little supported.
It's quite snuggly.
Awkward headstand or cheek stand.
Snuggle them out.
And then slowly come back down.
It can be quite intense on the trapezius because it's a really good acupressure point anyway.
Yeah, so you can have your arms on the triceps or just above the triceps, or you can hug them around, just similar to your growth. Very compact, very low to the ground. You're next.
I'm next in inversions. We're staying chill. Can we stay chill? I have to say that actually one of my favorite inversions at the moment is to have a supported shoulder stand. Super amazing. Like a block could be a high book, a folded towel, whatever you got at home. And so you come to lie down. This could even be done on the wall. I'll show you also. So one, lift up your hips, take the block under, could be on the lowest, could be on the second height, shoulders are super relaxed, legs up into the sky. This is so, I just love it for my lower belly, to just really take the world upside down without working so hard. I love to rotate my feet, super chill. It's like super fun. If you do it on the wall, you really need to go super close to the wall, super duper close. So you put your bum on the wall. Pascal is doing it without the block. If you do it with the block, you have to put your bum on the wall, block next to it, and then you have to put the foot on the wall so your bum is actually super close to the wall. Super fun. This could be where the class ends, actually. It's like, see you tomorrow.
Option here would be, of course, going to a full shoulder stand where you support your lower back. Next, from here, one of my favorite inversions that is not as low to the ground, very accessible, is a downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, the heart is above the head, so it's an inversion. You're inverted. So we want to show you a couple of beautiful adjustments that you can do in your down dog. First one, as you set up your down dog, make sure that your feet are at least hip distance apart. If you're just warming up, maybe have them even wider than the mat. And then bend the knees so you can open those shoulders and then start extending the feet. So we're going to go through, again, a series of 10 circles where we're going to bend the knees, open the shoulders, extend the legs. Bend the knees, open the shoulders, extend the legs. So we're going to warm up the down dog, and then we're going to take 5 breaths in there. So join me on the mat. Hands shoulder distance, rotate them out just a little bit, spread the fingers wide, have your head neutral, looking towards your toes, feet hip distance apart, just to check in, come forward into your plank position, shoulders on top of your wrists, and then push back into your down dog. Bend the knees, open the shoulders, and extend the legs. Bend the legs, open the shoulders, push into the hands, and extend the legs. Bend, open the shoulders, extend the legs. Bend, open the shoulders, extend the legs. 3 more. Bend, open the shoulders, extend the legs. Bend, open the shoulders, heels towards the ground. Last one. Bend, open the shoulders, extend the heels towards the ground. And then walk a little bit. Bend left and right leg. Let the hands be very loose, as if you would massage the mat. Let your neck be free. Rotate from side to side. And then find stillness for 5 breaths. Find your down dog and take 5 breaths in your down dog. Starting with 1, in through your nose. Long out through the mouth. Number 2, in through the nose. Out through an open mouth. Commit to release. In through your nose. Exhale through an open mouth. Number 4, 2 more. Inhale, long. Exhale fully, but slowly. Last one, send it into your chest. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly bring your heels back to the ground, your knees back to the ground. Sit back in that hero pose for a moment. Close your eyes. And just notice the subtle difference. Notice that it doesn't take much to reset. Very often we get stuck in perfect. We think, I'm not able to practice because I didn't make it to my yoga class. I'm not able to practice, I didn't bring my yoga mat. I'm not able to practice because I only have 10 minutes before I have to pick up the kids, go to work, do this, do that. Practice starts the moment you start to move, and it doesn't take much. So if you only have a minute, take 5 breaths in your down dog. Do some of the squats, the forward folds we have. You can even do them waiting for the bus. So you don't need a studio for it, you don't need a mat for it, you just need to do them. So tonight our intention is to give you little doses of things that work for us, and so you can pick and integrate them into your daily life. So make yoga really part of your life rather than only isolated on the mat. Okay. So there was support. Next one, you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to ask.
Oh, yeah, true.
Is there more inversions?
Yeah, let's do more inversions. If you are tired, you can't tell us because we can't see you. So we'll just keep going. Your turn.
My turn. Okay, so I was always such a huge fan of headstand because it was part of my teacher training and we did it a lot. And I remember when I did craniosacral therapy training, our teacher was really like, don't do it, it's gonna kill you. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of headstands anymore. So I wanna introduce you to Forearms Dance. And I really think since we warmed up the shoulders so nicely, it's perfect. Forearms Dance. And it's a really good way to practice forearms dance if you just go one leg up. It's going to give you so much strength in your shoulders. Let me show you 2 things. So just like in that forearm crow, forearms on the ground. and have your hands parallel. You could possibly do the headstand arm position. You could also keep your arms open. So just notice one thing, super important. If you have your hands together, it's not going to be so tight on your shoulder opening, okay? If you take your arms parallel, it will give you a bigger shoulder opening, and it might give you more struggle. So be aware what you choose. If your shoulders don't open very well, stay here. If your shoulders are already open, try this one, because from here you can go into very interesting variations. And if you're just on your way of opening up the shoulders, take a block in between your hands. So your hands stay open. They have the tendency to come into the side. Also, take your elbows a little closer at first and then roll over your skin. So your elbows roll out and you are set up in shoulder distance. Take your hips up like you're in a downward facing dog. And then walk forward as much as you can. As a first drill, I would give you sink into your shoulders and push yourself out. Sink into your shoulders and push yourself out. That's an action that is done by your shoulder muscles, as well as your shoulder blades, the muscles that move your shoulder blades. Such a great way to practice this shoulder strength. So do 5 of them. Let's do 5 of them together. And really lift out and up and down. Okay? We'll release the shoulders for a moment. Forward also. Okay. So now we're going. If this is a big challenge for you, I suggest do those. Do 5 of those every day. You don't need much of a warm-up for that. This is a really cool practice to build up shoulder strength. Can be done in between unloading the dishwasher. So here you are. Same setup. Place your elbows a little bit closer and then roll out so your skin doesn't let you roll further. Coming up a little higher. So here's the next variation. You bring your leg up. So I have the benefit of being quite flexible. That brings a lot of weight over and I can tip my weight in. You don't have to do that. If your leg is here, that's totally fine. It gives you more strength. Okay? So and try to hold it here. If you feel very confident, you could just practice some hops and keep them controlled. You just practice hops and you practice, okay, where is it? Where's the balance? And do the other side too. 3 hops on each side. Let's do it together. Hop. 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 Coming back. Take your arms out to the side, bring them up. Interlace your fingers. Bring the palms up. Roll 1 time into one direction and 1 time into the other direction. So now I'm going to ask Pascal to be behind. Some of you might have the benefit of having friends around. So you could ask someone or you could turn onto the wall. I'll show you the second version after. So Pascal is just going to be standing there with his arm out, being the boundary so I can't fall over. Same setup, roll over your skin, hands parallel, take 1 leg up. You give a small hop. I didn't make it. Another hop. Oh, and there I am, but I didn't make it all the way. Another hop. Oh, but there I am. And so I can find it and balance, find my balance, and maybe take the second foot up. Hold it, and come back down. So that would be having a friend around, just taking the arm out. The other version would be you do it against the wall. If you do it against the wall, you want to leave some space. From your fingertips to the wall should be at least 10 centimeters. Otherwise, you don't make it over. It's going to look like this. And I need a mat under my elbows, otherwise I slide away. And so if I hop and I don't make it, I just come back down. If I hop and I make it, I have my heel against the wall. I can use it for a moment, but then I want to get off the wall again. And then come to hold it for a moment, try to extend and get as tall as I can, and come back down. So that's a really cool way to practice forearms dance at home. Take your arms out to the side, interlace them the other way. Palms up, rotate into one direction, and rotate into the other direction. And make sure that you really allow the neck to soften, so let the head roll from side to side. Boom. Such a game changer.
Okay, inversions. So next up, we want to jump into the chapter of dreams. So dreams are something that can be very powerful and something that can also be very heavy. If you have that big dream in your head, but you never follow it, it just gets heavy after a while. It's that unfulfilled thing that hovers in the back of your mind and keeps you away from being present. So the most powerful thing that we found to help us when it comes to dreaming big is to speak about it. Is to not keep your dreams for yourself, because then they do turn into those gremlins that will slowly eat you up, but share them with others so they really can turn into trees that start growing and that start manifesting. And it's like when you buy something new, when you buy a new phone or you buy a new car or you buy a new bicycle, all of a sudden you see those cars everywhere in the city. We just bought a new car because our old van, our old bus had rust and it was just too old. So we bought a new used car. And all of a sudden you see that car everywhere. But it's not that all of a sudden there are more of these cars. It's just your awareness shifted. You're more mindful now to look for this white car that is just like yours. They have been there before, but you've never seen them. And with dreams, it's just the same thing. The moment you start speaking about dreams, it is like you're buying a new car. All of a sudden, you will see things that are related to your dream. If your dream is to become a rock star and you start speaking about it, all of a sudden you will recognize, oh, I didn't know you played a guitar. I didn't know that there's a music store over there. I didn't know there's live music every Wednesday in this club, because all of a sudden you're paying attention to those little details. And that allows you to build a network, that allows you to connect to people, and eventually taking steps towards your dream. So step number one, share your dream. Either do it in the comments below this video. This would be a very bold step, and I really invite you to do it. Just write it in there. Right, my dream is to move to Egypt and become famous. Or my dream is to own a little wooden hut in the woods. Whatever your dream is, write it down or send it to a friend. Dear blah, 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 I always wanted to tell you that my dream is to become a doctor or to finish my school or to have a baby. Whatever it is. Well, be careful who you send that baby message to, but be bold enough to share your dream. We're waiting for you. You have to do it. What's your dream?
I wanted to ask you.
You go first.
My dream, really, the dream that's haunting me the most over the past 3 years is just write the freaking book. I really want to write this book about Thai massage. And I'm making it in my mind. I'm making it such a big thing. And I keep finding these questions that are unanswerable. And it just keeps me away from starting. So my dream is to write this book, a really beautiful book. It's called The Art of Touch.
So now you know that she wants to write a book, so you can ask her, what about the book? And you can start being the cheerleader and the positive reminder.
Now you have to say something about your dream.
My dream? One of my big dreams is to share movement and to share the practice in such a simple way that it really works for everyone. It's something that I'm experimenting at the moment, working with people that come from drug addiction and that come from just a lot of trouble in their life, and movement is not on their priority list. It's not even on their list. And it allows me to become so smart in scaling down mindfulness practice to a level that it really works for everyone. That gets me really exciting. So I'm working with athletes on the one side, and I'm working with people that are in rehab on the other side, where it seems like their problems are so big, and for me to realize that the practice still works and it still gets them into presence when we do a meditation, when I take them for a mindfulness walk in the forest, or when I go all out with them on a mountain bike. And I really want to be able to scale those techniques down so they work for everyone, because I think a lot of the practices are so specialized. And I think it's time to bring the practice to a bigger audience. That's my dream. Hope you wrote it down somewhere, maybe in a phone. Ideally, you shared it with someone. Remember, we talked about support before, so this is a moment where you could ask for support. Hey, I have this dream. Can we speak about it? Don't even ask for advice, just share it. And dreams. So we're gonna go back and forth again, and we just show you our favorite poses that you can hold for a little bit longer. We're just gonna stay in there for maybe 5 or 6 breaths, but just a couple of our favorite yoga poses, simple yoga poses that you can do to reset and to start dreaming. You want to start, or I want to start?
You start.
So here is a terrible asana that is so good for you, for me. Ankle to knee.
Ooh.
So right shin parallel to your mat or just parallel in front of you, 90 degree in your knee. Ankle to knee, and knee close to the other ankle. Your main intention is to keep your spine straight, and with every exhalation, you release slightly down and forward. And this is a pose where you can really work on your exhalation. So let the focus be a long exhalation. If you struggle to exhale fully, you are too deep in the pose. Then back off a little bit. But make sure you make those exhalations very long. So we're going to do it together for 5 breaths. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through an open mouth. Number 2, inhale and exhale. 3, inhale, straight spine. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, slightly lean forward just a little bit deeper into the pose. Last one, inhale. Long exhale. Slowly open your eyes. Just bring the left foot in front of that right knee, And just for a couple moments, just walk your hands forward, drop your head down, and stay fully passive in that seated pose. And then slowly walk back up. Bring the knees in front of you. Small pose to counter. Inhale here, lift the hips up, all the way up. Drop your head back. And come back. We're not going to stay for long. Going to move to the other side. Left foot to your right, so your left shin is parallel. Oh, this is my challenging side. Hallelujah. Right foot on your left knee. If you struggle here, if this is painful in your knees, feel free to just keep that foot in front of the knee and sit in a cross-legged position. If it's okay for you, find that position. I like to hold both feet. Straight spine, close your eyes. We're going to stay here for 5. Inhale through your nose. And exhale. Long inhale. Long exhale. Slightly lean forward, number 3. Inhale. And exhale. Number 4. And exhale. Number 5, straight spine, soft shoulders. Long exhale. Slowly and gently open your eyes. Place that right foot just in front. So both shins are parallel. Walk forward. Drop your head, chin to chest. Soft spine. Soft heart. Soft neck. Soft forehead. Soft jaw. Take one breath here. And exhale. And slowly come back. One more time, we're going to go into that counter pose. And we're going to stay for 3 breaths. Feet hip distance apart. Hands behind your back. You can rotate the fingers forward, to the side, or back, depending on what feels best for your wrist. If you're not sure about the wrist, just turn the fingers out to the side. Inhale, hips up. Up as high as you can. Drop your head if it's comfortable in your neck. If not, just keep it neutral. Long inhale. Full exhalation. 2 more. Your own pace. Gently come back. So again, very simple, short, but super effective to open your hip, especially the outside hip, and that frees your lower back in my case, but it can also really get you out of your head and into your body. You're up.
Okay. My favorite one. Twisted thigh stretch, really.
That makes some space.
It is. I think we can fit the both of us on this mat.
I'll be here on the side.
Okay, cool. So it's to really open up the front of the thigh, the groin, the psoas muscle. We start right foot forward, and it's really important as you drop forward, just like in Anjaneyasana, that your right knee doesn't hike past your right ankle. So if you start to drop forward and you realize that that happens, allow the front foot to come forward too. Left hand on the ground. And then see if you can find flexibility there first. And then you bend your back foot. If you can't reach it, you could use a scarf or a belt to come around. So I like to go up in a very wide motion, reaching. Thumb comes up, you're reaching from the outside. So what I like to do is hips come high and connect to the heel as much as possible. So you really make a nice package. And then on the exhale, you send the whole package forward and down. That makes you roll off of your knee onto the attachment of your thigh muscles. So this should not be painful on your knee. If it is, you want to pat it more. And you really want to drop forward. So now, next action, right shoulder up to the ear, roll it around and open the chest. And then, like for a lot of people, that really makes the angels sing. For me too. And this is where I start dreaming. This is what gets me out of fear zone into opening up to possibility. So inhale again. And then exhale, sink and really open. And maybe you want to even open your chest and your throat and allow your head to drop back. Last deep breath. Exhale, release. Woof. Take your right leg back. Let's come onto all fours for a moment and just do cat and cow. One time. Feeling the difference in both hips. And then step the left foot forward. Step it wider forward than you think. A lot of times we're much more flexible than we think. So step it nice and wide. Make sure that your knee doesn't hike past your ankle. Right hand down, supportive. Left hand up, a wide motion, bending the back knee, catching hold of the outside edge of the foot. Let the hip come up a little bit and make a package. You don't have to connect the heel, but you want to come close and then let the whole package travel forward. Oof, that's my second favorite side. And then really keep breathing so deep into the lower belly that you feel your breath arriving on your pubic bone. That's the lowest part of your torso. Really breathe in so deep. Maybe you feel it even in your groin and you feel the tissue start to release and open up. In every exhale, you breathe a little deeper down there. And then again, second action, left shoulder up to the ear. Open it up. And then open the throat and open the heart and open the sternum and allow the breath to fully expand in your chest and your belly. Beautiful, last breath. Deep. And then slowly release the back foot. Let it travel back down. Come back onto all fours. Do one more cat and cow. Place the backs of your feet on the ground. And just take a moment in child's pose and just feel into your groins again. Sway your hips maybe from side to side just a little bit. And then slowly coming back up. This one for me really, is a big one. I try to do it every day. It helps me a lot.
So that was dreaming. And again, this is where I believe that movement, the asanas, the active part, the hatha yoga practice can really help you to get out of your head and into your body and then back into your head, but with a clear focus. Because it's not, I think very often we misunderstand that a physical practice is all about getting you out of your head and into your body. And while this is true, you got to find a way back into your head. You will not only live in your body or in your movement, you'll always get back to your head. Work starts on Monday, kids come back from school, colleague is coming with the next project, relationship things are bubbling up. So life doesn't stop just because you're doing a forward fold. But the forward fold will absolutely help you to take a different perspective and to react differently when your buttons are pushed again, when daily life is overwhelming, or when chaos hits just like it does at the moment. So those anchors in your practice can really help you to stay centered, even when everything else is falling apart. And even then, sometimes we fall apart, and then maybe practice helps you to put the pieces back together. All right. Last chapter that we want to look at today is release. So it's that last part of a practice where it's time to release. So we want to show you some release techniques. I want to show you one, and then we go into a short meditation to manifest and to release, and finish with a little chant. So stand up. Look at the microphone so you can hear us. Maybe not. So just stand up and have the feet hip distance apart, and we're going to go through the body and we're going to activate the different channels, starting on the arm. So you're going to have, it's not a fist, but it's a very flat fist, like a gorilla walks. And with this, you're going to tap the outside of the arm down and the inside arm up. Make sure you go all the way to your trapezius. Outside down, inside up. A little bit faster. All the way up to the trapezius, deltoid, triceps, forearm, biceps, chest, collarbone. One more time up, all the way down to the wrist, back up. And now we're going to brush. So we're going to brush down the outside, in and up on the inside. There's a whole lot to talk about, meridians and energy lines, pressure points. Today, just don't care about it. It'll just feel amazing once we're done with this little act of self-appreciation. Faster. Down the outside, in and up on the inside. Okay, shake it out. Feels like the arm is already a lot longer. The other one. Same on the other side. Up on the outside and down on the inside. All the way up to the trapezius. Gentle touch. Awakening, reminder. 2 more. And then brush down. Turn the hand so you can really go all the way from the neck, down the outside, up on the inside, and brush it out. Back of the fist, kidney area, left and right side of the spine. You can also use the hip, sacrum area, left and right side, a bit higher towards the rib cage. Filling those areas with blood. Heat. So really give yourself a good rub on the lower back. Up and down, up and down, up and down. And the legs. So we're going to start going down the outside and up on the inside. 2 more. Down the thighs, up the adductors, down the IT band, and up inside the legs. Last round. Crushing down, inside. Outside down, inside up. 3 more. That's it. Just close your eyes for a moment. Make sure you're not dizzy. If so, keep your eyes open. Feel that tingling sensation in your fingers. Blood finding its way into all those little parts of your hands, your toes, the skin, the lower back. Soften your shoulders. And take 1 deep breath in. Fully exhale. And then we're going to come and sit for a little meditation. So again, make sure you're comfortable. A block, a cushion, a pillow, a blanket. Make sure you're warm. And then we're going to...
I want this scarf.
Get your yogic scarf, your tea, light the candle. We'll pray for sleeping kids and seamless live streams. So I want to start the last part of our little class today with a song that I sing at the moment every day to bring the kids to bed. It's a song, unfortunately I forgot his name.
From Wiesbaden, from the yoga studio.
Beautiful yoga teacher played the song.
Yes.
In yoga class where we taught at the Hamburg Yoga Conference. Leah, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for this beautiful event and the invitation to teach there. And he played the song. And it was really beautiful and allowed me to go deeper into my meditation, into relaxation, and into trust. So close your eyes. We're going to sit for a little bit. Feel free to sing along or to hum along, or just to focus on your breathing and let the practice sink in, let the words sink in, let the support sink in, and enjoy. Anything from you?
No, I really love this song. I always hear it when he brings the kids to bed, and I always really love that mellow vibe that goes through the house in this moment. Such a great anchor.
Just like any mantra, the song is very complex, consists of many words. Not. It's love will find a way back home. That's it. Close your eyes for a moment, wherever you are now. I've seen that we have people from Sweden watching, people from the States, people from Germany and Switzerland. So it's a real honor to have you all joining here, where this crisis turns into an opportunity to connect. Love will find a way. Love will find a way. Love will find a way. Love back home, back home, back home, back home. Love will find a way. Love will find a way. Back home, back home, back home, back home. Love will find a way. Love will find a way. Back home, back home, back home, back home. And love will find a way. Love will find a way. Back home, back home, back home, back home. And love will find a way. Love will find a way. Back home, back home, back home, back home. And love will find a way. Love will find a way. Back home, back home, back home, back home. And we will find a way. We will find a way to come back home, to come back home, to come back home, to come back home. And you will find a way. You will find a way to come back home, to come back home, to come back home, to come back home. Love will find a way. Love will find a way to come back home, to come back home, to come back home, to come back home.
So let's use the words of the song to turn inside and to make staying at home not only to stay in our four walls, the opportunity to really come back home, home to ourselves. And that means to stop for a moment And retreat the senses to the inside to really notice what's going on. Love will find a way back home. And see if you can bring this love that you just sang about home into this state of being right now. What I spoke about all the way in the beginning. You might even want to place your hand on your heart to bring kindness. Kindness to the questioning mind. Kindness to the heart that sometimes might lose hope. To bring kindness to the swirling emotions that might sometimes feel like they rip apart in this intense reality. And to allow it all to be there in this present moment. From this gentle place of observing. And see if you can find a smile, an inner smile, a soft one that tickles the outer edges of your lips to come a bit closer to your ears. Find gratitude, being alive and breathing. The opportunity of being part of a somewhat important change. Your connection to your inner being. To bring the love back home is going to be at the foundation of steering this important moment of history into something really powerful and beautiful. For the last minute, just notice your breathing as it comes in and out. Very simple. Stay in the present moment. Stay right here with us together. And then take the next inhale to really connect down to your center, your belly, and allow it to expand as you inhale. And exhale through an open mouth as you release. Take one more of this. Wonderful. And then slowly start to open your eyes, very slowly. And allow yourself to be soft as your gaze starts to glimpse the reality of your surrounding. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining, for practicing together, for exploring, for bearing with us through the difficult technical disaster at the beginning. So feel free to share the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We might do this again next Friday. You're teaching 2 classes next week?
I'm teaching 2 classes online next week. It's on Tuesdays, it's English spoken, and on Wednesday is a German speaking vinyasa class. We're moving. You're so warmly welcomed. You find the information on the website, www.swadarma.de. And yeah, let's move together. Let's stay connected. I just had a couple of phone calls with some really dear friends, and I really love seeing their offerings online too. There is quite a gathering going on out there. And just like I said in the beginning, as much as it makes me miss them even more, and it's so beautiful to sing together. So make sure you reach out to your friends and connect, and really do the practices that uplift your heart. So important.
Remember to practice gratitude. Take gratitude into appreciation. Make sure you take action. Find practices that bring you into action. Don't be passive. Don't be reactive. Take action. Number 3, we spoke about support. Lean into support. Ask for support. You know how good it feels to support someone else, so make sure you lean into support. Number 4, allow yourself to dream big, but don't get stuck there. Share your dream with others. That's the only way it can grow and manifest. Otherwise, it will get stuck in your head and be heavy. Don't let that be. Share your dreams. And number 5, find ways to release tension and to come back into joy. Let joy be a fixed date in your calendar. Thank you very much. If you're here, feel free to write us in the comments. We'll be here for a little bit, just checking out who was here. So if you have questions to any of the techniques, feel free to reach out. We'll put all the details to our website below or right or left somewhere in the video so you can find it. Thank you. Thank you.